Good morning, I'm Raquel from MH Family Adventures. Welcome back to our channel. I'm here this morning. It is February 21st, 2022, and I just wanted to share with you our experience with having booked a Disney cruise and unfortunately needing to cancel it because of a canceled flight. So we were scheduled to cruise just a few days ago on February 18th on Disney Dream. We were scheduled to visit their private island Castaway Cay, as well as Nassau, Bahamas. This was just a quick 3-day weekend getaway over President's Day weekend. And if you've been following along, this cruise originally was meant to be a mother-daughter cruise. We were scheduled in January, and then unfortunately my daughter had COVID in January. So when we rescheduled, because we had not cruised on Disney Cruise Line, we decided that we would experience this as a family. So when we rebooked from January until February, we decided to do it as a family. So this was kind of a last minute trip. We tried to get everything in place so that we could experience Disney together as a family. And so I have to say that prior to probably the week before last week, I started just having this feeling that things weren't going to work out. It felt so rushed and so last minute. And typically I like to take time to plan these cruises, plan all of our adventures. We did have some plans to visit the new Margaritaville there in Nassau and their Fins Up water park. And then we had plans for Nassau as well. So we did have plans and things in place. We had a hotel booked because we were flying in the afternoon before the cruise, which I highly recommend. Do not go in. Do not try to fly anywhere the morning of your cruise because if there's a delay or cancellation, you're kind of screwed. But in this case, we were screwed anyways because we wound up getting to the airport. So we were scheduled, I think, Thursday to fly out around 3 o'clock. And so I did go to work that morning. My husband, Ron, and I both were working. We left work and went straight to the airport, picked up the kids from school, went straight to the airport. And it just felt like something was not right. We were missing something. We were forgetting things. It just felt so rushed. So like the typical things that I would do to prepare for a cruise, such as like get a pedicure, do Jo Marie's hair, things like that. It didn't happen for this cruise. And so I don't know if maybe I jinxed myself by not doing our traditional things before we cruise. Also, this weekend was originally scheduled to be a mom-son's Daytona 500 trip for Andrew, but because of the January cancellation, because of our work schedules, it only worked for us to take this family cruise during President's Day weekend. I don't know if having changed those plans kind of jinxed us for what happened or not, but it just didn't feel right. And so on our way to the airport, I was just forgetting things. I forgot SD cards. I had to order some from Best Buy, then didn't even get a chance to go there to pick up SD cards. And there were just like little things that we were missing because we did it so last minute. So when we get to the airport, the irony of it is that my husband, Ron, he was scheduled on a different flight out of Ohio. And that was because we had so many cancellations last year with COVID, and he had some flight credits that needed to be used by the end of February. So we were flying, myself and the kids, we were flying American Airlines we were going to fly to Jacksonville, Florida, which is my home city. And then we were going to drive from Jacksonville to Port Canaveral, only because the flights were a lot cheaper doing it that way. And so Ron was doing the same, but on his United flight. And so when we got to the airport, our flights were departing around the same time. And so we didn't think anything about weather. The weather here was fine. It was a little bit rainy, but it was fine. And so when we got to the airport, let me take a step back. Actually, there were weather issues because our original flight was for, I believe it was like 8 or 9 p.m. that evening. But we were canceled probably a week or two prior to the cruise because they were anticipating there being weather at our connection point, which was Chicago. And so because of that, we rescheduled it for early afternoon. So we had already had that cancellation and we rescheduled it for the afternoon. And then when it was time for us to board the plane, you go through that hassle with kids trying to check everyone in, go through security. We had all of our carry-on bags because they were included. So just getting all of that stuff onto the plane. Once we got on the plane, I received a text message that just said that our flight was delayed. And at this point, no one had said anything to us. It just said that our flight was a little bit delayed, which was going to be fine because we had about a 2-hour layover in Chicago anyway. So I'm like, okay, a little bit of delay, we'll be fine. Probably about 10 minutes after we got situated on the plane, I then got a text message to say that our flight was canceled. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't think it's really canceled because someone would have said something to us by now. And then lo and behold, a couple minutes later, they get on and the flight attendants get on and they say that unfortunately our flight has been canceled and that we would need to go to the American Airlines counter to make alternate plans for our cruise or for our flight. So we get off the plane, we deplane, again, that's another hassle with the kids, and literally waited in line for at least 2 hours before a representative could even help. And so if we didn't have to wait those 2 hours, we probably could have gotten on the next flight going to Charlotte was the next option. But because we had to wait in line so long, we missed that flight. And then it was another 3 to 4 hours of just trying to figure out how can we get down to Florida. Driving was not an option for us at this point. Unfortunately, like I said, we're about 16 to 18 hours away from Port Canaveral. And I have trouble seeing at night and I am terrified of mountains. And because Ron was already on his flight, which ironically, he did make his flight and he did make it all the way to Jacksonville, driving just wasn't an option. And so, we stayed at the airport. We tried to, we kept going back and forth to the American Airlines counter trying to find a different flight. They had absolutely nothing going to Florida. I thought about driving to like Cincinnati or Cleveland, or even Detroit or Indianapolis to see if they had flights, but nothing here in the Midwest was going to Florida. So then I said, well, let me try like Spirit Airlines or let me try all these different options. And there were a couple of options. However, because it was last minute, there weren't 4 seats available. And so I was told, well, you could have your older sons go as unaccompanied minors than you and your daughter. And I'm like, absolutely not. We're not going to split it that way. And I think maybe we jinxed ourselves too by splitting up and having Ron on a separate flight, but there was no way that I was going to have the boys fly separate than us. And then there's a delay or a cancellation. So that just wasn't happening. So at that point, we decided we just had to cancel the cruise. I have to say that I was a little bit heartbroken and a little bit upset about needing to cancel the cruise. And I think that's more so because of all of the planning that's involved with taking a cruise and, being concerned about, having to wait on money to be returned. And that's why you always travel with travel insurance, but just trying to make sure that things were going to be okay and we weren't going to be out any money. But just the frustration of dealing with the American Airlines customer service and just being there in the airport with kids around dinner time. We were hungry. I was frustrated. But I guess the thing that made me feel a little bit of solace was the fact that the kids weren't really upset about missing the cruise. And I don't know if it was because we planned this so last minute that they didn't get a chance to really get hyped up about it. Also, we have several cruises for the summer, so they're probably just like, oh, well, we missed this cruise. We have so many more. So when I realized that they weren't upset about it, then that really made me feel okay about the situation. So we missed our flight, or our flight was canceled. We had to cancel our Disney cruise. And I have to say that Disney Cruise Line, they were so accommodating and so understanding. They didn't ask for any evidence or any documentation. They didn't ask about travel insurance or anything. I just called, explained the situation, and they issued us a full refund. They did give me the option to reschedule if we wanted to. And I have to say that at this time, we have not rescheduled our Disney cruise. We opted to go ahead and get the full refund. And the reason for that is us sailing on Disney in February is significantly less than if you're doing it in like the late spring or summer. And we would have to reschedule that for April, May, June, or July based on our work schedules. So looking at the price, we did want to reschedule it, but just looking at the price of it, it was like, well, you know what? We can take 2 Carnival cruises or 2 Royal Caribbean cruises for this price. It just wasn't worth it for the 3-day cruise. Now, do we still want to experience Disney? Absolutely, we really do. We want to experience Disney. We will experience Disney at some point. But I think for now, we're gonna just take a hold on that. Because like I said, it happened twice where we needed to reschedule and things. So maybe it's just a sign that maybe it's not time for us for Disney. We'll continue on with, Carnival and Royal Caribbean, and we're gonna give MSC a try. So we have lots of plans for the future as far as cruising. And if you have not followed some of our cruising adventures, definitely check out our channel, MH Family Adventures. We have some cruise content there already, and we are still booked on quite a few cruises for the spring and for the summer. So I will be sure to include those at the end of this video. But the next cruise that we have, I'm really excited about. And I'm gonna make sure that we have plans to, if we get canceled, we're driving. We're gonna make it to this one. So I've been waiting for this one. So we will be cruising on Carnival Mardi Gras, March 19th during spring break. Now for this cruise, it'll be just myself and Andrew, he's our oldest son, because our youngest son has a school trip that he'll be going on, and then our daughter, she's actually not on spring break that week. So it'll be just me and Andrew, my sister, my nephew, and her friends. So we're very excited about getting on Carnival Mardi Gras. So we're about 26 days away for that adventure. So definitely stay tuned for that. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. That way you can stay updated on future cruise content. But again, just wanted to share with you, what happened and why we don't have any vlogs for Disney Cruise, because it didn't happen. Unfortunately, like I said, we planned all of this. We made Disney door magnets because we heard that was a thing. We did order t-shirts for us to wear. And I guess the silver lining of it all was that my husband, he was able to, once he got to Jacksonville, he happened to run into Dr. Cornell West, and he was able to get a picture. I'll link that right here. So he said that meeting him made all of the hassle worth it. So if he's happy with that, I'm happy with how things happen. And again, I think any form of rejection is protection. So this might have just been our way of needing to just stay home, maybe rest, relax, rejuvenate, prepare for some of our upcoming trips and travels. And so we're fine with it. Were we disappointed? Absolutely. But we got over it quickly, and we are ready to get back to cruising. So in about 26 days, we'll be boarding Carnival Mardi Gras. And again, I will link some of the cruises that we have for the spring and for the summer. And some of these might have changed from when I announced it a few months ago. And that is because of like the Disney needing to, we just added on a couple cruises. So yeah, so we're excited. We're gonna get back to cruising. And again, thanks for following along on our journey. And if you have not, please like this video, give us a thumbs up. It really does help our channel out. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I've been running some analytics on our channel, and which I think YouTube does an excellent job of sharing that information. But it looks like over 50% of our viewers are not subscribers. So if you are viewing our channel, viewing our vlogs and our journeys, please subscribe. It definitely does help our channel out. And again, you'll stay updated on all of our adventures. So for now, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, and thanks for following along. And again, Disney will happen at some point, and once that happens, we'll be sure to announce it here. All right, thanks for following along. Give us a like, thumbs up, and we will see you soon.